Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Emma. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. We are really happy to have you here today. This podcast is all about learning real English, the English people actually use in daily life.
If you enjoy learning English with real conversations, simple explanations, and friendly vibes, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the bell. It really helps our channel grow and reach more English learners like you.
All right, let's relax, take a deep breath, and start learning together.
Okay, can I be honest?
Of course. What's on your mind?
I used to feel so confused about to and for. Even when my English was improving, these two little words made me nervous.
Same here. They're small words, but big trouble.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, native speakers use to and for all the time without thinking.
Yes, but learners think a lot about them. Should I say to or for? That question never sleeps.
So today, we're not teaching grammar rules like a textbook. We're learning to and for through real conversation.
Real life, real feelings, real English.
This morning, I made coffee for you.
Ah, thank you. See, that's already for.
Yes, I made coffee for you because the coffee is for someone, the receiver.
And then I walked to the kitchen.
Exactly. You walked to a place.
So already we hear something important. To often shows direction. For often shows who receives something.
But don't worry, we're not memorizing rules. We're feeling the language.
Okay, can I tell you something learners often say?
Sure.
Jack, I understand when I listen, but when I speak, my brain freezes.
Oh, yes, that frozen moment. Your mouth wants to speak, but your brain says, wait, to or for?
Exactly.
That's why we practice with stories and emotions. Why do you learn English, Jack?
Good question. I learn English to communicate with people.
Yes, you learn English to do something.
And you?
I learn English for my future.
Ah, that's for a reason or benefit.
See the difference? To is for action, goal, verb. For is for reason, benefit, purpose. But again, don't memorize. Just listen and repeat and feel.
Yesterday, I bought a gift for my sister.
That's sweet. What was it?
A book. She loves reading.
So the gift is for her.
Yes, and I went to the bookstore to buy it.
Perfect example.
I walked to the store, I bought a gift for my sister, and I gave it to her.
Wow, look at that sentence. We used to and for naturally.
Let's talk about feelings.
Okay.
When I'm tired, I listen to music.
Yes, listen to something. And when I'm stressed, I go for a walk.
Ah, good one. Go for a walk, for a run, for a drive.
English has patterns, but we learn them through life, not lists.
If you're listening right now, try this. Say it with me slowly. I'm learning English to improve my life. I'm learning English for myself.
Both are correct. Both feel natural, but the feeling is slightly different.
And that's okay. English doesn't need perfection. It needs connection.
You don't need to be perfect to speak English.
You speak English for communication, not for exams only.
Mistakes are part of the journey.
And every mistake is for learning.
Who do you learn English for?
Honestly, I learn English for myself and for the people I want to connect with.
That's beautiful. Listeners, try this sentence in your head. I'm watching this podcast to learn English.
And this one, I'm watching this podcast for my confidence.
Yes, you're already doing great.
I love how natural this feels.
Me too. English becomes easier when we stop fighting it.
And start using it.
You know, Jake, something funny happened this morning.
Uh-oh, when you start like that, I know it's going to be either funny or embarrassing.
A little bit of both. I was making tea and I suddenly thought, wait, do I use to or for here? And I froze, just standing there with the kettle in my hand.
No way. You? Freezing over 2 and 4?
Yes, even teachers have these moments. And then I thought about our listeners. How many times do they stop mid-sentence because of to and for?
All the time. I see it in comments. I made this for you. I went to the store for buy milk. I'm here to you.
Ah, see? My brain already hurts.
Same, but that's why today's topic is so important. Not grammar rules from a textbook, but real English, the kind people actually use every day.
Exactly. And before we go deep, quick friendly reminder. If you enjoy learning English with real conversations, please subscribe to Talk Emma, like this video, and share it with someone who's learning English too.
Okay, now let's get into it. Okay, tell me honestly, what do you think to means?
To feels like movement, direction, like going somewhere.
Yes, that's a great starting point. To often shows direction, purpose, or intention.
So if I say I'm going to the kitchen, that's movement.
Right. And if you say, I'm studying English to improve my job chances, that's purpose.
So to answers questions like where, why, for what reason.
Exactly. Now let me ask you, what does for feel like?
For feels more like benefit, like something is for someone.
Perfect. For often shows who benefits, who receives, or the reason someone gets something.
So this gift is for you.
Yes, not to you. We don't say that.
Why not, though? You're giving it to someone.
True, but English is emotional, not logical. When you focus on the receiver, we use for. When you focus on the movement, we use to.
Oh, that's an important difference.
Very important. Let's slow it down with a simple real-life situation.
Okay,
Jake, imagine you cooked dinner.
that already sounds stressful.
You say, I cooked dinner for my family.
Because my family benefits from the food.
Right. But you say, I went to the kitchen.
Because you moved.
Yes. Now, let's mix them together.
Uh-oh.
I went to the store to buy vegetables for my family.
Wow, one sentence, both to and for.
And that's real English. Not simple, but very natural.
Let me try one. I'm learning English to speak confidently for my future.
Nice. Very nice. Your future benefits from it.
This already feels clearer, but learners still get confused.
Because they translate from their own language.
Yes, translation is dangerous.
Exactly. English doesn't work well with word-for-word translation. It works better with feelings and patterns.
Let's talk about a common mistake I hear all the time. I explained this to him for help.
Ah, that sentence wants to escape.
What should it be?
I explained this to him for help is wrong. Correct versions, I explained this to him to get help, or I asked him for help.
So ask goes with for?
Most of the time, yes. Ask for help, ask for advice, ask for directions.
But you say ask to speak to the manager.
Yes, because to shows intention or permission.
Oh, wow. English really likes to test us.
It does, but once you see patterns, it gets easier.
Let's talk about emotions. How do to and for show feelings?
Great question. Think about this sentence. I'm happy for you.
Not happy to you.
Never, because for shows emotional support or benefit.
What about I'm sorry for you?
Yes, same reason.
But I want to talk to you.
Because talking is directed to someone.
Okay, let me test myself. I wrote a letter blank, my friend.
Which one?
If I focus on the action, sending it, maybe to. If I focus on why I did it for them, then for.
Both can be correct depending on meaning. I wrote a letter to my friend, action. I wrote a letter for my friend, benefit or purpose.
English is sneaky.
But also beautiful.
Let's bring this into daily life. Morning routines.
Okay,
I wake up early to exercise.
purpose,
I make breakfast for my kids.
benefit,
I go to work.
movement,
I work hard for my family.
motivation,
Oh, I like that one.
Me too. It feels emotional.
This is what learners need, not rules like use to with verbs.
Yes, they need meaning.
Let's talk about time expressions. Thanks for coming.
Yes, but I came to help.
So for looks backward, what already happened. To looks forward, why you did it.
That's a great way to think about it.
Wow, I impressed myself.
You should. Now, another mistake I hear, I'm waiting to you.
Oh no,
Correct is I'm waiting for you.
because you're receiving something, someone.
Exactly. But I'm going to wait outside.
Direction again.
Yes. English is very consistent once you notice this.
What about phone calls?
Good one. I called to ask a question. I called for help.
Ah, that's clear.
Now, let's slow down and talk directly to our listeners.
Yes, if you're listening right now and feeling confused, pause, breathe.
You're not bad at English.
You're just learning patterns.
And patterns take time.
Don't try to memorize everything today.
Instead, listen, notice, repeat.
Use to when you talk about direction, purpose, intention.
Use for when you talk about benefit, support, or receiving.
And if you make a mistake,
That's normal.
that means you're trying.
And trying is how fluency grows.
You know, Jake, something I've noticed with learners is that they try to be too correct.
Yes, they want perfect English.
But perfect English often stops them from speaking.
Exactly. They stop mid-sentence and think, wait, is it to or for? And then the moment is gone.
That's why today we're not chasing perfection, we're chasing communication.
Because native speakers don't stop and think like that.
They feel the sentence.
And feeling comes from exposure.
Let's imagine a real conversation. You're talking to a friend after work.
Okay.
You say, I stayed late at the office to finish my work.
Purpose, clear.
Then you say, I did it for my team.
Reason, motivation.
Both sentences feel natural. No stress, no grammar panic.
Exactly. Now let's flip it.
Okay.
Jake, I'm going to my friend's house.
Movement.
I bought snacks for my friend.
Benefit.
You see how English repeats itself?
Yes, patterns everywhere.
And patterns are easier than rules.
Let's talk about studying English itself.
That's important for our listeners.
Why do you listen to podcasts, Jake?
I listen to podcasts to improve my listening skills.
2 twos.
Yes, but I do it for my confidence.
Nice. Confidence is the benefit.
And confidence doesn't come overnight,
No, it grows slowly.
just like understanding to and for.
Let's talk about helping people.
Okay,
You say, I'm here to help you.
action.
But you say, thank you for helping me.
Because the help already happened.
Exactly. English uses to when we look forward, for when we look at the result or reason.
That's a powerful way to think.
It really is.
Let's do a small listening test for our audience.
Yes, just listen, don't overthink.
I went to the library to study.
I studied hard for my exam.
I called my mom to check on her.
I worry for her sometimes.
All of this is natural English.
And none of it needs heavy grammar.
Let's talk about work emails.
Oh, yes, very real.
People often write, I'm writing to inform you,
Yes, very common.
and thank you for your time.
Always for, never to.
Exactly.
What about apologies?
Good one. I'm sorry for being late.
Because you regret something.
But you say, I came early to apologize.
Action again.
Yes.
Let's slow down and talk directly to the listener again.
Okay.
If you feel nervous speaking English,
It's okay.
if you mix to and for,
It's normal.
even advanced learners do it.
What matters is that people understand you.
Communication first, perfection later, or maybe never.
Native speakers aren't perfect either,
True, they make mistakes all the time,
but they keep talking.
and that's the secret.
Let's bring in daily life again.
Okay.
Morning message to a friend. I'm going to work now.
Later message. I'm working late for my project.
Simple. Real.
Another example. I saved money to buy a car.
Goal.
I'm saving money for my family.
Reason.
These sentences sound like real people talking.
Because they are.
Let's talk about giving advice.
Sure.
I recommend this podcast to beginners.
Yes, you recommend to someone.
I made this podcast for beginners.
Exactly. That's the target audience.
Wow, that's a very clear difference.
And very useful.
Okay, one more common mistake I hear.
Let me guess.
I explained him the problem.
Ah,
Correct version?
yes. I explained the problem to him.
Because explanation goes to a person.
Yes. But I did this for him.
Because he benefits.
Exactly.
I feel like this is finally clicking.
That's the goal.
Not memorizing lists.
But understanding meaning.
And feeling confident enough to speak.
Confidence grows when confusion goes down.
And confusion goes down with exposure.
That's why podcasts are powerful.
You hear English again and again.
In context.
With emotion.
With real voices.
Not robotic sentences.
Exactly.
Let's keep this flow going.
Yes, there's still so much real-life English to explore.
Can I tell you something honest?
Always.
When I was learning another language, 2 and 4 confused me the most.
Really?
Yes, I knew the rules, but in real conversations, my brain froze.
That freezing moment, every learner knows it.
Exactly. Someone would ask me something simple, and inside my head I was thinking, is it 2 or 4?
And by the time you decide, the conversation is already moving on.
Yes, and that hurts confidence.
That's why we're teaching this differently.
Through life, not textbooks.
Let's talk about emotions.
Good idea.
You say, I'm happy to see you.
Action, seeing,
But you say, thank you for being here.
appreciation.
You feel the difference.
You really do.
Let's imagine a birthday situation.
Okay,
You buy, I bought this gift for you.
because you benefit.
You say, I came early to surprise you.
Purpose again.
Every situation repeats the same logic.
Even love.
Oh, interesting.
You say, I'm saving money to travel with you.
Go.
You say, I'm doing this for our future.
Reason.
English is emotional, not mechanical.
Yes. That's why translating word for word doesn't work.
You have to think in meaning.
Let's talk about mistakes without fear.
Important topic.
If someone says, I did this to you, instead of, I did this for you.
People still understand.
Yes.
They might notice, but communication happens.
And communication is success.
Fear stops learning faster than mistakes.
Absolutely.
Let's bring this into daily routines.
Morning routine.
I wake up early to exercise.
Action.
I exercise for my health.
Reason.
Night routine.
I turn off my phone to sleep better.
Yes,
I do it for my mental health.
very natural.
Now let's talk about helping English learners.
Okay,
This lesson is designed to help you speak.
purpose,
We made this lesson for beginners.
audience.
Very useful distinction.
Yes, especially for content creators and teachers.
Let's slow down again and talk directly to the listener.
All right, if English feels heavy in your head,
You're not slow.
you're learning something new.
And new things take time.
Don't rush yourself to sound perfect.
Speak for connection.
I love that.
Let's talk about asking questions.
Good point.
You ask, can you explain this to me?
Yes,
But you say, thanks for explaining.
because it already happened.
Exactly.
Past and future, again.
This pattern keeps repeating.
Let's talk about promises.
Okay.
I promise to call you.
Action you will do.
I thank you for keeping your promise.
Result.
This is starting to feel easy,
That's when learning becomes enjoyable.
not stressful.
Let's talk about goals.
Motivational moment.
I'm studying English to get a better job.
Clear goal.
I'm doing it for my future.
That hits emotionally.
Because language is tied to life.
Not exams.
Exactly.
I want to add something important.
Go ahead.
When you listen to English, don't pause every sentence.
Yes.
Let it flow.
Your brain will learn patterns naturally.
Just like children learn language.
They don't study grammar
They listen
and copy.
and make mistakes.
Lots of mistakes.
But they keep speaking.
That's confidence.
Confidence is built by action, not perfection.
And 2 and 4 will slowly become automatic.
One day, you won't even think about it.
You'll just speak.
That's the dream.
And it's possible for you.
Yes, completely possible.
Let's keep going.
There are still many everyday situations where 2 and 4 appear naturally.
And each one makes you stronger.
You know, when people learn English grammar, they often think grammar is something very serious, very strict, like rules, rules, rules. But real English is actually very soft. It bends, it moves with life.
Yes, real English lives in your daily actions, your habits, your emotions.
And that's why words like 2 and 4 are so important. They quietly connect what you do with why you do it.
They help you explain yourself.
Exactly. Not just actions, but intentions.
Let's think about dreams for a moment.
I like that.
You might say, I'm learning English to travel.
Clear goal.
But then you say, I'm learning English for freedom.
That feels deeper.
Because language opens doors.
It opens conversations.
And confidence.
Let's imagine a simple daily moment. You're tired after a long day.
Very relatable.
You say, I'm sitting down to relax.
Action.
And then, I need this for my mental health.
That's honesty.
English allows you to be honest when you use it naturally.
And honesty makes conversations real.
I want to talk about kindness for a moment.
Okay.
You say, I called you to check on you.
Action with care.
And I did it for your peace of mind.
That sounds warm.
English can carry warmth.
Yes, when you stop fighting it.
Many learners fight English.
They try to control every sentence.
But English works better when you trust it.
Trust comes from listening.
And repeating.
And making small mistakes without fear.
Let's talk about encouragement.
Very important.
If you're listening right now and thinking, I still feel confused,
That's okay.
confusion means your brain is learning.
Clarity comes later.
You don't need to understand everything today.
Just understand a little more than yesterday.
That's enough.
That's progress.
I like how English mirrors life.
How so?
We do things to move forward.
And we do things for reasons that matter.
Exactly.
Learning English is the same.
You practice to improve.
You continue for your future,
For your confidence.
for your voice.
And one day, you won't even think about 2 and 4 anymore.
You'll just come naturally.
Because language lives in use, not in rules.
And the more you listen, the more natural it becomes.
So take your time.
Enjoy the process.
Speak when you can.
Listen when you need.
And remember,
You're learning English to communicate.
and you're learning English for yourself.
That's the most important reason of all.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.